welcome back to Resonance once again. This is the second episode for today. That's right. If it looks
doubled up,
if it looks familiar, we're recording 2 episodes on the same day. Don't ask me why. We just had a chemistry lesson before this, but that's okay. This is also an awaited guest. A lot of people who have been watching the episodes have been requesting this guest. For right now, he's blurred, but today we welcome Vaibhav Aggarwal.
Hi. Hello, V.
I was requested?
Yeah, it's requested by a lot of people.
You are popular. You got the clout.
Okay. Anyway.
Alright, so you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so as James said, I'm Vaibhav Aggarwal. I'm in the same grade, but the same school as those kids. I do debate, I do run, I somehow on the road to becoming a doctor, despite all of that.
Is that by choice?
We won't talk about that. Yeah, that's me, I guess, in a nutshell. I don't really have a
Alright, and we are your co-hosts once again. I don't think we need to be reintroduced, but my name is Daniel Basmi, and that's Makulanand over there.
Yes,
he's
sir.
6'2", he's tall, he plays tennis, and he likes the game.
Can we just go an episode without talking about my height? Because that was like a key point of our last episode.
That wasn't a key point of the last episode.
Oh, Jasper kept calling me a giant.
Well, yeah, but...
Okay,
Anyway.
Alright, moving on. We kind of got a rough overview, I guess, of V over here, but do you want to talk about a little bit, kind of more in depth about yourself? So where you started off, your roots. You were born in Bakersfield, California, correct?
No.
That's wrong.
Alright.
You remember?
He was born in Nebraska.
Nebraska.
That's true.
I don't remember which city though.
Yeah,
Almost.
I was born in a place that literally could not be called town. I think we were like 5,000 at the time.
Okay.
Really small. And yeah, I was born in Hastings, Nebraska. Yeah, that's what it was. And yeah, I spent, I think, maybe 5 years here and moved here when I was 5. So the majority of my life has been here. But I am a Nebraskan native. Like, that's on my birth certificate and all that. So yeah, I came here. My dad came here because of work. Moved here when a friend recommended him. I came here actually with a friend from Nebraska, which is actually unknown and kind of a joke I make to myself all the time.
So do you want to talk about that friend?
Friend should not be named. Off to college, graduated last year.
Okay.
Tiberius.
Tiberius.
No. Yeah. We kind of stopped talking a while. That's why it's like inside joke, and I don't make like make that public as much anymore. But yeah, that's kind of where I came from. My dad's a doctor, if that's not evident at this point. And yeah, that is, I guess, me in a semi-deep nutshell.
Alright, and then you want to talk about moving on? You went to, I think we all went to preschool. Did you go to preschool?
Yes, I went to preschool.
Or you had some type of...
Okay, well, basically...
You had some type of education. Moving on, where did you go to elementary school?
Private, right? You were private at that time?
Private elementary school.
I went to St. John's.
St. John's Elementary School.
The massive...
That's not a shout out to St. John's, but...
yeah, I went to St. John's since first grade, so 8 years of my life, so definitely a big part, and I'm at Stockdale with these two now. But yeah, St. John's was interesting. I made a lot of friends there. The education, like my problems with it, it's different, but it's something I wouldn't trade. Definitely, for sure. I think my time at St. John's was valuable. And
so then, like, obviously, then you didn't really have like that much of like a transition from like elementary, I guess, to junior high, right? Like, it was the same thing.
It was the same thing. Like, I came out of 6th grade, then I just went back in with the same kids, and then obviously it changes a little bit.
How was your junior high to high school transition, though?
To be honest, it wasn't that bad because I took geometry in 8th grade, which is a somewhat sweaty fact that most people know about me. So because St. John's was not equipped to have geometry, or they didn't have geometry as a class, period, I went to Stockdale, and
so you're kind of already like introduced to high school then, basically.
Yeah, I think if I can walk into Stockdale with St. John's uniform, shirt and khakis on, sticking out like a sore thumb, the transition was zilch at best. It wasn't different.
Yeah, and then before we continue any further, we kind of talked about this at the end of our last episode, but we want to stress that we kind of need people to share the episodes
yeah.
around. I definitely want to talk about before we lose a lot of attention after these first couple minutes. But definitely, if we're sharing the episodes with you, please share them with your friends, or I'm sure V will share them to everybody that he knows. But yeah,
it's actually in the contract.
Yeah, you know, like if you have an Indian bake sale, you know, there's stuff you have to do. Please share the episodes. We're trying to get as many views as possible now, in order to like kind of just stay motivated to do this, and also start working on the blog for residents and work more on the website. And if you'd like to listen to us on other platforms as well, we haven't really advertised it that much, but we are on Anchor, which has uploaded us to 9 other platforms such as Breaker, Google Podcasts, Spotify.
Spotify mainly, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the biggest
So if you like listening to Resonance, please share with your friends, share with your family, and have your friends share with their friends. Unless you're all part of the same group like we are, and you kind of have a limitation in terms of your geometry or in terms of your radius. But we hope you share Resonance, and we hope you enjoy it. Coming back into today's episode, we were with V. So junior high to high school. I know a lot of people have been talking about like St. John's, and Samir was talking about how he changed a lot dramatically.
Yeah.
Like socially. Would you say the same?
I think for me it wasn't really like. I feel like social change is like inevitable because I went to St. John's from 1st to 8th grade, so I basically went through like major parts of my life in St. John's. So I think like social change was inevitable. I think like the major thing was like a mental change because like before like St. John's, I was either in Nebraska or like in a situation where I was just surrounded by, you know, Indians. So I mean that's just like the mental change.
Calling all your friends before high school idiots?
No, before St. John's.
Okay, before St. You remember that time?
I mean.
Oh, well, how smart were you back?
Who else was I talking to before? I was talking to you back then, before St. John's. So
yeah.
That's just proof of that, I guess. Like I didn't have too many people outside of the Indian group, if that makes sense. So I guess like the mental change is like one, like being able to adjust and kind of reconcile different worldviews with like my own. Because going as to a Christian school as like a non-Christian was definitely like interesting to say the least. Just like learning about like a different religion when you don't personally subscribe to that religion. I think that was the biggest mental change. Like that became like I became more like accepting, I guess. That sounds really corny just saying it out loud, but that's kind of like how it was, just like reconciling that religion worldview with my own religion, my own worldviews. And that was the biggest change that I learned because I know obviously like having 8 years in the same place, you're obviously going to be different from like the small size first grader I came in.
Would you say you would have been a lot like different personality wise if you had gone to like a private high school?
You know, I think that I wouldn't have been because
that would have been just the same like junior high V or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think I would have been kind of the same because like there's like an attitude I have with like my St. John's friends. Like obviously like it's not as like open, I guess. Like with like my friend group at Stock Hill, like most of them have been to my house or I've invited you to my house over a couple times. Like I don't do that with my St. John's friends. Like there's like that kind of like level of like
with your St. John's friends,
or you know what I meant. Like I invited you guys to my house, like my soccer friends, like the Indians and all that kind of stuff. Like those people like offer them like, hey, you want to come over? Like hey, that kind of stuff. But like there's like a difference between that. I get a little bit nervous with like my St. John's friends. There's like that wall. But I think there's like a little bit difference. I think I'm a little bit more open now than I was back in St. John's. So
yeah.
I think that was like the major difference.
So you're saying like because now you moved into a public school, like you just became a lot more like open?
Yeah, I'd say that was like the biggest change, just because I was with people that like there's less boundaries about. Like yeah, that's like the biggest difference.
So like kind of sort of similar to Samir, maybe you became more open.
Yeah.
Slightly more social. I think you became more social in high school.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
But getting more about you, you kind of talked about like forensics. I think most people we bring on talk about forensics as one of their hobbies, and I assume to the audience getting kind of annoying, but yes, forensics is a big part of our lives, and it's a big part of V's. He really loves policy debate. To be specific, why do you love policy?
Why I love it? I think policy was like at first like ironically Tiberius was the one who like kind of like gave was like my first like exposure to policy debate.
Yeah. And if you want to know what Tiberius is, sorry, but Tiberius we mentioned in the first episode. I think we mentioned like we got a name dropped him like a few times throughout residence, but Tiberius was a senior at the time that we were freshmen, and he was like this. I want to say
super charismatic,
cool policy debater. Or he basically got us interested in forensics.
Yeah. So Tiberius, it was at like that first idea. Like I debated that first time in front of Tiberius. And I really like fell in love with it just because like one like I just like debating, and I think like policy debate is more attractive because I'm like more attached to a topic and I gain like more knowledge about a topic. Like Muku and Daniel can tell you, like last year I was a literal pain when we were talking about the topic or the criminal justice topic for policy. So, and I think like that ability to like air out and like engage in like civic education was definitely something that like I probably needed because like before like I made a decision to transition to medical, I was probably like you probably see me as like one of the most people dead set going to become like going to a lawyer in political science. So I think like that kind of like aspect kind of explains that like debate was something I probably needed to like learn about that.
Would you say that it like made you more like confident in like your speaking and stuff, or?
Yeah. Say the fact that I maybe speak too fast. One thing that people would tell you back in like St. John's or like in my earlier years is that like I would used to speak too fast.
Or like nervous or stuttering and all that.
Stuttering for sure. Nervousness, I guess, kind of aged out. I guess I did have a little bit of a fear, like back in like way back when. Yeah. As I got older and became more confident, like in my own knowledge about like civic issues, like I think back in like 7th grade was first I kind of like took the deep dive. I kind of aged out of that nervousness, but that stuttering, that like speaking skills, the ability to effectively communicate was zilch back a couple years ago. Right. I think forensics was really important for me to.
Yeah, so I think definitely that's like I was talking about this before, but forensics is something that people should get into, not because they're good at public speaking, but because they want to become better at it. Yeah. And there's like a bridge that you have to cross. Like I personally don't like when people say, "Oh, I'm just not that great with public speaking, so I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that."
I know. I mean, I could. Yeah. Like,
I understand you're not that great, but that's why you need to practice it.
I mean, I think you and I can both be the first person to tell each other we were not good at public speaking going into high school.
Yeah, I wasn't great with public speaking, and I think like that isn't like an inherent problem with anybody. It's just like something you have to overcome. I think it's just like being shy.
I never had like a fear of like embarrassment or whatever. I was just never that good.
Yeah, I think it wasn't that I was just more I get very nervous, almost like stage fright.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't like to do a lot of public speaking, or like I would do it, but I would be extremely nervous as I was talking, even like talking to the class. And when I got comfortable, I'd be okay. But I think just debating and everything like that really helps you get into stuff like that. Like starting a podcast, like these kind of like speaking skills will help you a lot in the future. And would you say this help you?
I think without forensics, I'd be stuttering, talking way too fast for anyone to comprehend. Probably just have like no ability.
Well, then circuit isn't helping you then.
What?
Well, then circuit isn't helping you then.
Oh, I can turn off the circuit with a speed.
For those that don't
speaking about school though, like what do you think about school going in person? Like, are you happy about that or?
I would say I am happy about that. I guess I have like 2 minds about it because one, like coming from like a medical family, and I had like some relatives catch COVID and all that kind of stuff. My mom's side, they kind of live in one house like a traditional Indian family does, and they practically all caught it at the same time. So I think like that kind of like reaffirmed my fears about it. This was like a few months ago, so that was like, but yeah, I think like that kind of like woke me back up to like the idea of like COVID is like a thing, yeah. So I'm happy because I think I work better under that like in-person environment, but it's also about the idea of like, is it feasible? Is it feasible to go back, especially with like the Delta variant coming back up? especially because
Fire.
like this dominant strain.
Yeah, I think we were talking about earlier. Only 30-something% of kids our age are actually vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your predictions for the school year?
A double mask either? Are you gonna wear a double mask or something?
I'm not gonna double mask.
Well,
I'm definitely gonna N95 it and not the surgical mask, but like the you guys know what I mean, like the full on
N95.
N95.
Yeah.
I am double vaccinated, thank God.
Oh, you're not double vaccinated. You're vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated. Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
vaccinated.
I'll be quiet, Daniel.
There are
4
people who have
doses.
received 6 doses, 5 doses.
Yeah, accidentally.
There's talk of
There's a
Pfizer
lot of
getting.
them.
There's talk of Pfizer
Third
endorsing
dose.
a third dose.
That's supposed to be strongly helps against the third variant.
Yeah.
The Delta variant.
Yeah, the
So-
CDC hasn't said anything about it yet, and so that's like
I don't think it's gonna get approved
I don't. Yeah,
anytime soon.
I don't think it's thing. I don't. Yeah,
You
there's
can't even
just
get
no-
people to get like Johnson and Johnson 1 dose. Then you have to start talking about
Yeah.
oh
There-
get 3
no one's gonna-
vaccines.
I think the main focus should be getting everyone fully vaccinated first, 2 shots, then we'll move on to booster shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the most part the government is like, well, we already got the most. Like, most of the people are only people who are gonna get the 3rd dose are the people who have already been vaccinated.
Yeah, so I think that the getting everyone, as many people as possible, 2 doses is the biggest
Yeah,
priority
it's.
right now.
I think 5 to 11 is opening up sometimes somewhat soon.
I mean I hope so, but
It
like
should, but certain things take time. I think it's
Yeah.
been tested to be okay. It's just as
it
it's
is
just
what
as
it is,
effective.
Yeah.
But kind of leaning into your hobbies. I don't know. I love watching movies. I love like cinema. What about you? You like
Yeah.
movies?
I like not as something like I would call it a hobby, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
My hobby
Yeah,
is
hobby,
like,
but like something you enjoy. What do you
I
what do you
guess
do in your
Okay,
free time?
well, yeah. What do you do for fun?
Yeah.
what do I do for fun?
What do you enjoy?
I guess I go out. I guess like me or my own. They're probably like my.
You like bike a lot or something like
I
that?
I would like to go to their
How's
house.
the last 2 weeks been? They've been on a road trip.
Oh, don't remind me. This is I was making a joke with my brother that these 2 weeks might be like the longest time I hadn't seen them because throughout COVID, like we were
Yeah.
going to their house. Cool, join us sometimes.
I remember, yeah.
So like I see them if not, I see them like maybe once every 2 days or maybe once every other day or maybe every day for times. Like it was like that's like it was kind of meta to think about like I was at their house or like we were together like that much or that.
Yeah.
So like definitely communicating with like close friends throughout COVID-19. I think quarantine really got to everybody at a certain point. I think it really affected McCool. He's talking about that.
Yeah.
He had 2 dogs.
I have 2 dogs now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he got 2 dogs during
Yeah.
during quarantine. This is the second episode we had chemistry right before we had chemistry.
Oh really?
12:30 to 2:30, and then
We
like,
recorded an episode
Jazz
right before
Carn
this.
happened like 2:45. We finished
Oh,
2:30.
really?
Jasmine came at
Oh,
2:46.
why'd you text me for 2:10 then? Or
For 4:10 because he has to go somewhere at 5:30.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh really?
So since you couldn't come earlier, I wanted Jasmine to come earlier, then you can
Oh,
come.
about that.
So no. This is the one thing
I know.
that I think you have a problem
V
with.
thinks everything is his fault.
You say sorry too often. I'm gonna say it right here, right now.
Yeah. This turns out to be a discussion pod. It's just a critiquing podcast now. Like,
Literally every single time I haven't had a text with you that you haven't said sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. And then, well, I feel like you're doing more often recently.
What?
You weren't doing it before.
Yeah. I never really
You
noticed it
started
before.
doing it.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
very-
this a new thing?
Yes,
Aw.
just like recently.
I don't know.
Like
if
a
it's-
month ago, you started saying sorry to everything.
I don't know if it's like new. per
It's
se.
like I can't make it. Oh, sorry. It was like, it's like if someone like bails on him, he's always like, oh yeah, no, it's my bad. Sorry. It's like literally, I feel like that's how V is sometimes.
Okay. I don't think it's new. I think it's just that I say it more in person because like we've been.
Yeah, you say it
texting-
more in person, but
Yeah,
As soon as
because
they go
we've been
over
texting
text.
a lot more. It's like it's just showing up in the
like
text.
somebody will ask a question in a group chat, and like just like a general question, that, like just something you might not know, and just like I don't know, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. I know that. That's classic V.
Yeah,
No, I
right.
guess it is.
You gotta calm down. Calm down with this story. Not everything is your fault.
Alright.
Well, residence psychiatric session.
Therapy session.
Residence therapy session.
A
now.
new branch of the company.
Yeah, we're expanding more. We got blog going. Now we have the
Well,
therapy.
I don't know if you guys are licensed, but.
Well, no. It's some. His mom does. It's good enough.
Good enough.
All right.
Huh? No, I mean she doesn't practice.
She has a degree though, doesn't she?
I think so. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
She told me something about it. but I
So
don't remember.
I think I know you listen to music. You can't tell me you don't listen to music. 'cause
Yeah, I know you listen,
listen
to
to a lot of
music all
music,
the time,
all the
bro.
time.
Yeah,
Playing Spotify.
So you want to talk about some of your music?
Okay, so, to the displeasure of some of the adults I know, Samir, so this is like way back when in like 6th grade. It feels so long ago now. But Samir and I were at Cal Poly for Science Bowl, and Samir will, knowing him, will go on a tangent about how he got cheated out of it later. But anyways, we
Science. Oh,
Oh
were,
yeah.
that's an interesting story. You told it a lot.
yeah, that is total.
He didn't tell it on this podcast.
You didn't say it on the podcast?
I don't think he did.
No.
Okay.
That just shows how much you don't watch our episodes.
I'm sorry, okay?
We're exposing guests now.
Exposing guests. But anyway.
What's there to get out?
Bro, Jaskar's watch every episode though. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he's watched
I'm
it.
behind, like...
But he's the reason why we have.
You know we're on
24 hours.
Spotify too, right?
Yes.
Mukul's like, we're on Spotify by the way.
Okay.
If you were paying
yeah.
attention. And we have a website.
Yeah, anyways, so Samir was there. We were sitting down in the lobby of the building. My mom went to go get Starbucks. I remember this vividly because she was like yelling at me a little bit later. But yeah, and then he sat down, showed me his playlist. And Samir back then had like rap and hip hop on his playlist. So I started listening to that. So that's kind of like where that started. Like
So you mainly listen to rap and hip hop. Well, yeah, Samir got you into music, basically.
Yeah, Samir got me into music basically, and that's kind of like where it started, I guess. So, I started listening to music a lot just because I think during quarantine it got worse, if you're gonna describe it as worse, because I
It's
didn't
not
have,
worse. There's nothing.
it's not
listening
really
to music
worse.
isn't worse. It's a good thing.
But it's just like I did it more because I had more time on my hands, like less things. Like obviously, if I'm at school, I'm not gonna be listening to. I like in between class periods maybe, but like during class probably not. So like there's obviously like less time in the day, but now I have more time in the day, so that's probably what I'm doing. But yeah, listening to music is, I don't know, it feels like something I do every single day for probably maybe a little too long.
Yeah, I think everybody listens to music in some moderation. But what exactly, like, what artists do you listen to?
Is it just like a collection of things? So
It's a collection of things. I don't think I have like artists that I like will like really look at. So maybe like
it's
one
just
or
like
two.
one of their songs.
So you just like
Yeah.
like different songs.
Yeah,
from
so maybe
everybody.
like one or two artists. Then
I
that's
know
what
I am.
have.
I like certain artists, but
Yeah, like I listen to like Drake, but I can't listen to all of his songs because some of his songs I hate so much. But like a few of them I like.
yeah, I don't really listen to him at all. I think we just talked about that.
Oh yeah, that's just why it came to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, how was online school for you
Oh
personally?
God.
What did you think of it going into it?
Going into
What were
it,
you expecting?
Okay, going into it, I knew that I would not be paying attention. I would not be like, at first, I tried keeping myself like on task, like paying attention to like the lectures online and that kind of stuff. It didn't work out in the long term.
It's hard.
It is very hard.
It is super hard.
It is very hard. Especially because I was at home and I was like, sitting like reclining in like basketball shorts and like a t-shirt. Like I wasn't like I was. You couldn't even tell that like I had changed. Like you couldn't even tell I was
Yeah.
ready for anything.
Yeah.
So I think like that aspect, and I just like stopped paying attention. By the time I scraped through finals, to the scare in like Spanish.
Semester 1 or semester 2?
Oh, semester 1. I kind of scraped through with like a scare in Spanish because I just like wasn't like ready for Spanish this year. Spanish was like probably like the hardest thing I did this year, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Spanish 3?
Spanish 3, yeah.
Was it because it was online?
It was online. That's what killed
You
me.
just didn't pay attention, right?
Because I think it's Spanish.
And I
you
think
pay
also
attention.
last year too is that like we cut off Spanish 2.
Right.
And some of the stuff that we get in Spanish 2 kind of got left off.
Yeah.
So like the preterite imperfects, like that kind of stuff, like that
Oh, I
base
hate
you should have
preterite.
had in Spanish 2, I didn't have enough of it going to Spanish 3. So that kind of stuff already put me at like a disadvantage coming into it.
Because Spanish 3 starts off with imperfect.
Spanish 3 starts off with maybe like 3 weeks of the present tense, and then moves you right back into present and perfect. And coupled with the fact that my teacher, this is what I've heard. She usually does like heck ton of like verbs for you to memorize.
Mm-hmm. Neither of us, we haven't never done Spanish like in an actual classroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know that sounded fun for this kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing for Spanish 1.
The Spanish one was hard, but the Spanish 2 was easy.
Well, we did Spanish 1 online, so it wasn't really difficult.
You're in Spanish 1?
But you have like
Spanish is easy.
I've never taken like a language thing before that. You had like an actual like tutor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Your Spanish one wasn't bad. I think it was like a learning curve throwing you into a new language.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I
remember you were doing a lot of the.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of my work for me.
Yeah,
it was great.
He had those downloads on his computer. I was like, let's open them. He's like, no.
Yeah, you can probably still find some of the.
It's so weird to think that was last year. I feel like it was way longer.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Quarantine blurred a lot of the time out.
For some reason, I feel like I'm going into freshman year.
I had the excitement of like now that I know it's gonna be in person. I had like the excitement, like those back to school like excitement. You have to buy like backpacks and all that, like bro.
I don't have it yet.
I have that excitement. I'm really happy about going back in person.
I think for me, I'm happy to go back. It's only because like it blurred together. Like, cause I didn't go out. I think like the first like 3 months of quarantine, I didn't leave the house because we were concerned about COVID because my dad was like in and out of the hospital all the time.
Yeah.
So we were on top of it.
He's a doctor. He wasn't.
He was
he's a doctor.
Was okay, so just make that.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He does rounds like probably he does rounds way too often in my opinion. But he was in and out.
in my
opinion.
My professional
as if I had an actual opinion in that. But he did rounds.
Jeremy Clarkson, my professional opinion.
Okay. He did rounds a lot, so we were really concerned because if the way that he goes to, I guess like Memorial and San Joaquin now Adventist, so like their COVID wards aren't like on separate floors. Like there's like wards, especially in San Joaquin, they have like wards of like half the fourth floor on San Joaquin is like COVID, and then the other half is just normal. So like especially like that kind of close quarters is definitely interesting. We were that's
He wasn't working with COVID patients.
He was not working with COVID patients because he's a cardiologist specialist.
My mom started off like she wasn't working with COVID patients at first, and then they eventually started moving them into it, and then she wasn't like working directly with them, but she was like making diagnosis from afar, and then she would call them back while you tested positive, and they would be like the strangest conversations. People would just be what?
Tested positive.
Yeah.
But
that was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, enough about COVID because it makes me cool sad.
Bro, COVID is just like we talked about it so much last
time.
I think it's overtalked.
He's tired about talking about COVID, but are you excited for school? I know
bad.
school is definitely excited about.
I'm definitely excited to go back.
I'm excited for the social, but not for the.
Yeah. I don't care about the work. It's gonna come no matter what. I'd rather suffer in pain or suffer with everyone else than just suffer by myself and on a Zoom call.
I think the social stuff is something that I miss, just social talking about
like social stuff like MUN is gonna be so much.
The thing is, I feel like I don't take now.
Hey,
like
what's
I know.
the status of MUN?
Did they ever announce?
No,
they didn't.
The thing is
wasn't Hager supposed to retire?
He's not though, is he?
He's not.
The thing is that I feel like I missed now that I know like school starting in person. I feel like I missed out on like a lot in summer. Like I don't feel like I did that much like social thing. We had like one thing in May, one thing in June. July is gone. Now it's August, and so like.
Is anyone doing back to school?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's nothing on like the MUN. I don't think they even did it.
Yeah. At this
because
point,
we never had an election.
Yeah, we just.
It's gonna happen beginning of next year.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely, I think that's what's gonna.
Yeah, that's
gonna go down.
Like, forensics doesn't have any of the positions for these either, so it's probably.
Oh wait, but forensics are we voting or?
I think it's selection.
Oh,
by
so it
Huddle-
just chooses?
by the coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to know before camp, so. Right?
No, I don't think we'll.
I can't even do camp.
I'm out of town. Yeah.
I'm out of town the same week.
But I'm honestly looking forward to it because I'm sick and tired of being in Bakersfield.
It's been a long. I mean, I haven't gone out of town.
I haven't
Well,
gone
I've
since
gone, like-
March.
I've gone out of town for like a day trip, but I haven't gone out of town for like a week or.
For
anything.
me, it's been since March. I haven't left Bakersfield.
The one vacation I took during like I've taken 2 vacations.
I remember
Sort of.
you went to Lake
I
Tahoe.
went to Lake Tahoe. That was fun, but like even
That was
there,
when COVID was bad, like really, really bad.
It wasn't like no, that wasn't. It was starting to get a little bit better, and then right after it got really worse, like way worse. But the thing is, in Lake Tahoe, the numbers were like they were doing really well over there.
Yeah.
Like they were lifting mask mandates and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a lot of like they were, and then a lot of people weren't wearing a mask because it was like. I mean, there were very few cases over there, and then it started increasing in some of the other towns after we left.
Yeah.
I guess like for me, my family likes doing like the day trips and maybe like a weekend trip every so often. Like
Where do
my
you go?
My parents want to go to San Francisco this weekend.
Oh,
That's a far drive.
I know.
it's long. It's like 6-7 hours.
It's 4, I think, right?
No, it's
It
not.
depends
4
on
hours.
traffic.
It's
If
not
you're
4
going on a weekend, it's about 5 to 7.
It's never 4 hours.
No, it's not 7. 7's Lake
We
Tahoe.
did it.
It's taking me 7 hours to get there one time.
Oh,
Really?
I've only been
Traffic?
there once. I've only been there once.
It's I would say on average 6 hours, because you went on a Friday
Yeah, that's true.
in the
That's true.
afternoon, in the morning, right?
Yeah.
On a weekend, like I remember going to San Francisco. It took us 7 hours to get there for like going there, and then like 8 hours back with traffic plus stops.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, we haven't been there.
San Francisco, I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, same. Which is why my parents were.
He picked up his dog there,
Yeah. Well, it was in Sonoma County,
Yeah.
which is like
nearby.
you go to San Francisco and you just take like a really big right and you just kind of go east
Mm-hmm.
into like the rural like vineyard
You
area.
go straight and left them.
Yeah. Yeah, that trip was exhausting, but it was
You got your
a.
dog out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Ruby. How is?
Oh, was it Ruby?
We haven't had an
Are we
update.
on that update
We actually
again?
haven't had an update in a couple episodes, so we need to know how she's doing.
Well, it turns out Ruby's teeth really hurt.
Mhm.
She's like
They
clawed.
hurt you or they hurt her?
Rocky.
Okay, they hurt Rocky.
He has like scratches and like like if you like pet him, or like you like scratch his head or whatever, like you can feel like bumps and they're like if you look
Wow.
they're like scabs. Like cause she's like super vicious at Rocky sometimes, bro.
The scary thing is she's gonna be bigger than him.
Yeah, and the thing is that like Rocky, usually because he's scared to do anything to her because he doesn't want to hurt her, but sometimes he doesn't realize how big he is. Like this morning, I stepped outside to go say hi to them, and Ruby came out to me, and Rocky like ran through her, bro, like pushed her so far, and he was like, yeah.
Well, because right now
but
he's
he
like-
doesn't do it on purpose.
Oh, because he
But-
just doesn't.
No, but like he won't hurt her
He
on
doesn't know
purpose.
how big
If
he is.
Yeah, he won't do anything on purpose. Ruby will like purposefully go after him and like bite his neck.
Oh, God.
Wow.
And it's like most of the time it's out of play, but she has her baby teeth in, so it's like razors, bro. I swear that thing could like give you a shave.
Has she ever bitten you?
Yeah, like I mean when she's like teething, like they like to chew on things, but it's like it doesn't hurt. And she's never drawn blood.
Did Rocky ever? Rocky drew blood.
He's drawn blood a few times, yeah.
Yeah, when he was younger.
When he's young,
Has he done it
and
recently?
and when he got like when he first got like super big, like I have like the scar here on my forearm. Like you probably can't see it, but it's like right here. That's from him, and
What
on
did
my
he do?
hand. I remember one time where I was pulling him out of like a plant or something like that he was messing around it, and he just bit my hand.
Oh, God.
But I mean that's like the danger with big dogs. But like he's not. If people have food, he's not aggressive.
Yeah, I think. Would you ever get a dog?
No.
Anytime soon?
No, some of my family's like in like conditions like they're asthmatic, so my parents have been like really like careful about like burn on it and stuff,
Yeah.
so it doesn't trigger. My family, my brother and my dad have asthma,
Okay. Yeah.
So they were
Yeah.
like they're really
Is your mom like or like not your mom? Is like are your like family like afraid of dogs or at all or like?
Just
our mom's semi afraid of
Yeah,
dogs.
so
sometimes.
your brother, yeah, I know that.
He's kind of gotten over that because of Bailey or
Yeah, yeah.
Mike's dog. He used to be, and then, but my uncle had a dog back in India. So like it's not like we never seen one, but like it's more like we've only like had experience with like maybe like one dog.
Yeah.
About it.
Right.
One dog. I like.
I know
my
Daniel wants to
parents
get a dog.
My parents like dogs. Like my dad is. We like a couple weeks ago we had these friends that were out of town for like 2 weeks. So he was feeding their big German Shepherd. Okay, this is funny. This German Shepherd, first of all, his name is Rex, right? And I remember this dog when I was like 6 or 7. Like he was so playful, and now he has like arthritis. He's really old.
Yeah.
He's like 70, 80 in dog years. So now he doesn't like apparently they put him in like, he played with them in the pool for a little bit for like one day for like 30 minutes, and he was having fun. He was moving around. The next day they woke up and he was on the floor like this, and he couldn't move because he has really bad arthritis. So he gets sore from like the smallest thing. So like a lot of time he's just sitting around now.
I know a few dogs like that. It's like sad to see like senior dogs like that.
Yeah. I mean, no, he was like the most like this dog. You think Rocky is bad? They couldn't take him on a walk. Like he could not take him because he jumps over. He would.
The thing is, we put Rocky in like we sent him away for 5 weeks.
For training, they didn't send him away. Just leave.
No, and Ruby will go for 8 weeks in September.
Oh, she's gonna go
for 8 weeks. Yeah.
I thought she was already fully trained.
She is, but like the thing is we want her to be like slightly better. And the thing is the breeder advised us like take precautions. Like if she shows signs of aggression, like handle that ASAP because she could.
Yeah, because I heard something like those kind of corsos if they're
she's gonna be 100+ pounds, dude.
Oh god.
So like she's approaching like my brother's weight. Like she'll be like as big as him or like when he's young. So I mean, like the thing is we just want to make sure that, like especially with big dogs, like and her bite already is like, you can feel like it's pretty strong. Like she had like decent teeth. Then
and I read some of the iconic horses like if they ever show signs of aggression, you have to get them because they could be dangerous dogs. Yeah, if they're not trained properly. Yeah,
so she's going for 8 weeks. Rocky went for 5, and so yeah, like then when she comes back and.
Wait, do you know which dog is like super aggressive? I forgot the name.
Pit bulls? No, pit bulls aren't aggressive.
Wait, no, there was this one dog like you have to have a muzzle on it most of the time.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't think it was a pit bull.
Tibetan Mastiff.
No.
Belgian Malinois.
No.
I'm just naming kids.
It's not a complicated one. It's like a.
I'll figure it out.
Anyways. There was just like when I was in Lake Tahoe, right? And we were leaving, so you know, like in the like most hotels, like they have valet parking, right? So, the guy bringing the car to like this like he's with this one family, and this couple has this type of dog, and the dog has a muzzle on it, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as the guy he gets out of the car, the dog starts like trying to kill him. Like I swear, this dog was like
no, and that's how
most.
We had an incident like that with Rocky once. Like not when we were traveling, but a few weeks ago we had like guests come over, and usually Rocky like he doesn't like people touching him unless they have like food and like he doesn't
like being touched.
No, but he sometimes like he started developing this thing where he'll go up and like sniff people, and then they're like petting him, they're like giving him like scratches or whatever, and he's like fine. All of a sudden, bro, he flips. He starts growling, and then we pull him back because we know if he latches on, it's game over. Like we got this guy that came over to our house. Like we had like family friends come over, and they're like dog people. Like we didn't have to put Rocky away like we usually do. So we're like, okay, Rocky can meet them. Like it's fine. So like of course he was on the leash and like we were like careful, but all of a sudden he went from like being like cuddling them, all of a sudden started growling. And that was so scary.
We had to take him away.
We had to pull him away, and it was scary because like we and the minute he bites someone, that's when they have to get euthanized.
To get what?
Euthanized, put down.
Oh.
If they severely injure someone, that is done. Like, you cannot argue like a case for them.
Oh yeah.
You can? Is that
Yeah, I
local
think-
regulations?
I no, it's like
There's a few laws.
it's like a whole
regarding
like
it.
thing, and anytime a dog severely injures someone, like these people, like, it depends on the damage. I don't think they would have actually like pressed charges or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but at that point it would have been like you either send them away to somewhere that's like super like
Yeah, I think I've heard some
But-
stories like people like the dog has to be put down. Like there's nothing you can do.
because, and so we were like, okay, we really have to like fix this. So Rocky, there's a chance, he might go back to training or whatever. But
Oh,
Yeah.
another 8 weeks. In the 5
no,
weeks
not
training.
not 5 weeks or anything, but just like continuing like with the trainer, because there's some people it's like he's fine with, but he doesn't really like being touched. But and then also like he'll do this thing where sometimes, one time when he was a puppy, he ran out the front door. My mom was like talking to someone and he heard, and my brother, like, I guess he pulled so hard on my brother's shoulder that my brother had to let go. Leash, roll straight out the front door. That's what.
Oh.
I think you've told me this.
Did they chase him?
You might have told
No.
me.
I mean, that person, like, he was like a 20-30 pound puppy at the time. So
Oh,
like
they
I
just- they
had to go up to the person, grab him, and it's not like he was aggressive. It was he goes up, he sees the person, he's like, oh, you just okay, I'll like sniff you for a bit or whatever. But it's like that's like the whole thing with the dogs right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It'd be cool. I think that
dogs are just a lot of work. They're
yeah.
just a lot. Like, I literally for the past like 2.5 weeks. Like, my parents have been waking up early. I wake up like maybe an hour after them. But it's like I went from waking up at like 8 comfortably, like knowing that like
Wake up
Rocky
at
was
5
fine.
o'clock because of Ruby.
5, like sometimes I have to wake up at 5 if my brother's going to a golf tournament. Sometimes like usually it's around 7 or 6:30. So it's just a lot of work, and now we're like stressed for the school year and all that.
Oh yeah, how's that gonna work?
I think that's another reason why I don't have a dog. It's like I would not be able to take care of the dog during
For
school
us,
year.
it's like just time.
Yeah,
and-
it's a time commitment. Like I seriously don't understand how you have 2 dogs and be able to take care of them well. Like that's like.
Well,
that's
because
the
he's been
problem for me.
home for like this entire
Yeah,
time.
they're like
Yeah.
that's true.
We also have to like coordinate and everything, like who's home at what time. Like
Yeah.
there have been times where like I can't go out to like tennis practice or whatever because I have to stay home and take care of the dogs because it's like there's nowhere else. There's no one else at home.
So if you wanted to get a dog, you should have already done it during quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting like we couldn't get our Ruby earlier, so we had to get her in July if we wanted to, get a second dog or whatever. And so we got her almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks ago.
That's only been 2.5 weeks.
It's only been 2.5 weeks.
It's
Yeah.
like a month.
I know. I thought it was way.
This entire like school year has either been, or like this entire summer,
Yeah.
it feels like it's going quickly and slowly at the same time.
I think it's because it's this idea that like we've been at home.
Yeah,
this
we've been at
entire
home, so it's
time.
not fun.
So like there's
It doesn't
some
feel like
difference.
summer.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I feel like we missed out like a lot on like social parts.
Yeah.
Of like
Yeah.
summer and all that.
It doesn't feel it doesn't feel as like fun. Like that's just in my opinion, like because summer used to be like, oh, now we're at home and now I can like
Yeah.
chill,
Yeah.
and now it's no longer that. It's more like it's just like focused on
Right.
I think it's
School.
also the fact that I don't know. I think you and I, at least, we've been doing like prep and all that kind of stuff too, because like this is like colleges are just like I guess it's like now in reality, because like we're doing all this stuff, and I think also it's that idea for like intense stuff. I think that's at least something for me. I guess a little bit for you, because we kind of have a bit of a commonality.
Yeah. I mean, I think like we're doing a lot at the same time, like.
Not doing it at the same time.
Yeah, because the thing is like it would be a lot easier if I was like seeing like
Yeah.
large groups of like people every week.
because whatever you're doing, it feels like a lot of work just because nothing else doesn't. There's less enjoyment that you get out of your
Yeah.
day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we're missing. That's I think something I wasn't grateful for in school. Like I didn't realize.
I take for granted like just even being surrounded by like people you don't even know is like that's like
Yeah.
such a big like thing.
just being able
and-
to talk to people
Yeah.
like in person throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to like FaceTime anyone throughout the
Yeah.
day or whatever.
Normally we just FaceTime for like 2 classes.
Yeah. We would like sit through like classes together just on FaceTime, even if we don't.
I wasn't like big on FaceTime. I probably did it 2 times throughout all of quarantine.
No, you
Right.
were just showing me the Rocky, bro.
But yeah, I mean, I was also like super excited about like having a dog finally and all that. And now I have 2.
Now I have to. You living the dream.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when we get in a Ruby's routine, and the thing is now we have construction at our house too. It's like really big construction, so it's just like a lot. Like 2.5 weeks
With the
ago,
dogs.
we had 1 dog and a completely like fine house. 2.5 weeks later, we have 2 dogs, and half of our backyard we can't use. So
Is it that big?
we
They're
can't.
doing a lot of.
You can't get from the driveway to the backyard. You have to go inside the house now. Like that's
Yeah.
how like it's like completely blocked off.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to talk. We can go into like for the next 2 minutes because we have to end this episode. Sorry, but we have to end this episode early. 'Cause
Oh yeah, you're good. You're
I gotta
good.
get my haircut. But
You're good. You're good.
basically, we kind of went over some of the news topics of the day in our previous episode. But I know something that just came out that Google and Facebook are going to require employees to be vaccinated when they return to office.
What do you think about that? Like, what's your whole opinion?
Well, I
on,
think
like,
I think it's
vaccinating?
I think I know his opinion, but
Yeah, same. But like, just for the people.
yeah,
Yeah,
for the audience.
I am a firm believer. I think that is a good decision. Just because the idea of like having that, just knowing that you're safe is, we have proof that even the Johnson & Johnson vaccine affords you a good measure of protection, and that's like the lowest it gets to is like somewhere around 70% ballpark.
I'll be giving a 1 AC now.
Yeah, so I think that just having that protection is good, and I think it's like something you can extend out is like in the workplace, because like
Yeah,
you go,
I definitely think they're taking the right step, and a lot of businesses should do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just to incentivize vaccines. And you know how this is really strange, but like, what if they gave money for it?
They
there
already
was
do.
talk about that.
Because they
wasn't
incentivize like electric cars.
Well, I
They
mean,
give you,
not
like,
not
in
companies, but I
California.
know like California has like
California gives
a lot
you,
of other like
like
states or you're entered in, like, a
$1,500
lottery
if
or
you buy an
whatever.
electric car here. Why can't just
I know.
if it gets to a point where we need people to get vaccines when they offer like $50.
I mean, I don't.
It doesn't make any sense because the people who do the trials get paid, not the people who not after it's been approved. Like the research has been done.
But the
Yeah.
problem I see with that is that like not to go like
Yeah, I don't
overly
think it's a good
political,
idea. It's just interesting.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think on paper it might work, but I think it's like the mentality of the people who aren't vaccinated at this point.
They're like so like far.
They're
They're like so far like
into
so far
that
gone.
stuff.
that point. It's
Yeah,
like
they won't listen to it.
It's like if you're not vaccinated now, you're probably never gonna get vaccinated.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
COVID.
I
Or if
think-
you've decided, well, there are people who change their minds.
But like very,
But that's
like,
very few.
what?
That's
Yeah,
very small
because I think it's
percentage.
like it's the mentality part of it. Like these people who are not vaccinated at this point are like they're
Yeah.
they won't go in. They're too deep into it.
Yeah. So, wrapping up, I think it was a great episode.
I think it was a
We
pretty
talked
good
about some
episode. Yeah.
Interesting topics. We didn't tell too many funny stories because we're kind of on a time crunch. Maybe
But
in the
we'll
future,
definitely have V on in the
maybe in the
few
future
more
we'll have V
episodes,
come
yeah.
on for another
V
episode.
part 2.
Yeah, bro, we're gonna have to have a V, second episode with V.
Thank you.
Blame Samir, you took up 1 hour 38 minutes of your time. Just kidding, but or you can blame Jaskar.
But that's right.
But yeah, I think it was a great episode. Please, if I said this before, but we want to reiterate,
Check us
share
out on
share
all
Resonance
platforms.
with all your friends. Check it out on other platforms. And mainly, we kind of want to get focused on YouTube and get more increase in
Hopefully,
views,
yeah.
increase in subscribers, so we can be motivated to do other things. And don't worry if the videos are seeming like they're kind of repetitive because we're interviewing a lot of high schoolers talking about the same subjects. Don't worry. There's a lot of interesting stuff to come. A lot of exciting stuff.
The Resonance vlog channel, vlog the first
yeah,
day of high
that,
school.
that I'm considering that. And then
Honestly, we should bring my brother on it for the next episode.
yeah, we could. Well, we'll have to talk
I'll
about
ask
that
him. I'll ask
another day. But definitely be looking out for more episodes as school starts as well. Because then we'll have a lot more to talk about, a lot more
Yeah.
stories to tell. Yeah, but we hope if you enjoyed Resonance.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I would say, but I think McCool's gonna get mad.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. We've been around for how many episodes now? It's okay.
Yeah, okay. We hope we resonated with you, and look
Yeah.
for another episode 7. Thank
Coming
you.
soon.